All right, hello and welcome. It's the second T20 international for India in this series, and of course India are leading 1-0. The question, however, in this match is what happens to India's playing 11. Well, Virat Kohli, a lot of those test regulars are back. Virat Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja, Jasprit Bumrah,
Pant.
Rishabh Pant. So we'll have to see what India's 11 would be. And as far as bowling is concerned, it's not a big deal. We expect Jasprit Bumrah to straight away come in for Arshdeep, who's not part of this T20, or we can say the next two T20 the India has to play against England, including this one. And Jadeja most likely should come in for Akshar Patel. So there are two slots still to be filled. Well, when we say that they are to be filled, the players who are already there are doing reasonably well.
Yes.
But the big question, Virat Kohli also comes in, and he comes in for whom? So we are joined live from Edgbaston. Vimal Kumar, our colleague, our distinguished colleague, is joining us from Edgbaston. Vimal, what is the news? Because we saw Virat Kohli getting a few hits just before the match in about 12 odd minutes. Hopefully we'll have the toss. So what do you expect there?
Rahul, good evening to everyone.
Good
in India. Early afternoon here in Virat. You see just the backdrop of the Edgbaston where I'm sitting right now in the press box. And let me start with a very interesting visual which I just saw when, normal every day when the team bus arrives, all the players are in zone separately, either putting mic or goggles and just walking straight to the ground. But today, with Virat Kohli, it was different because Virat Kohli was coming out from the bus. When he got down, Rahul Dravid was there, and they were just discussing some intense discussion going on. We all know that Dravid and Virat, especially Dravid, he just avoids the camera. But here, he knew that this is such an important game. People are talking about Virat Kohli's position in playing 11. Questions are being debated. How should we invest?
We seem to be having a few. There we go. We're back.
Dravid and Kohli. But that was interesting. So you can use it. But what I can tell you, Rahul, I saw yesterday the kind of chat Rahul was having with Virat Kohli. It looked like that. Yes, Indian team knows these series is the best time to assess the strength of this team, the likely 11 which is going to play in Australia, because obviously India have been trying too many combinations. But the good thing is that Jasprit Bumrah comes straight away. Ravindra Jadeja will come straight away. Shreyas Iyer unlikely to play. Those three are sorted. The only thing is Rishabh Pant. Who will Pant play or will he replace Dinesh Karthik? That's an important question. Obviously, Virat question is there, but I think Virat will play. But yes, he will be under pressure to deliver. That's sure.
Press box.
Oh, you're in the press box, my good friend Vimal.
He can't hear me. I think we have some audio issue. Well, a lot of information that we get here is often second hand, but you are there. You must have had a look at the body language of the players. The last time, in fact, India won the Ireland series 2-0, and then this one also they won the first match pretty comprehensively, because a lot of England, surely they started as favourites. But looking at the body language of the players, in fact, I saw a few of your reports. You mentioned that Virat Kohli would be under intense pressure. What has happened in India here, the great Kapil Dev, in fact, he has said that if Ashwin can be dropped, why can't Virat Kohli be dropped? Then there have been a few conflicting reports also as to whether Virat Kohli will be on trial from this series onwards. So does that actually put pressure on Virat Kohli? And if it does put pressure on him, it could go either way. Either he can crumble under that pressure, or as we all know what Virat usually used to do earlier, whenever you put him under pressure, he'll come out with flying colors. But this time, it's a different scenario altogether.
I think, Rahul, you're right. And for the first time, Rahul, I have been covering Virat Kohli since his childhood. And maybe in earlier part when he did not make it to Indian team, that time that's a different Virat Kohli. And once he was dropped. But in the last 7-8 years, or maybe in the last 10 years, post 2011 World Cup, I have never seen Virat under as much pressure, or maybe even when great Kapil Dev is saying that yes, Virat Kohli is droppable. So that just forced you. Just before this England tour, before Edgbaston Test, if somebody would have told me that, Virat's position is in danger, I would have just shrugged it off. I would have been dismissive. But that's not the case. Today, say, I'm just giving you example, the toss is going to happen just a few minutes time. If Virat Kohli is dropped, I will not be surprised. I will say yes, I will be slightly disappointed that he should have got the chances. So that is the kind of situation, and that's why. And it's refreshing to see, despite all these talks going on, it's not that Virat Kohli doesn't know what is happening. But I saw him after the practice. You expect that he will be serious. Generally, he avoids the camera. But yesterday, he was in chopri mood. Obviously, there were just a couple of journalists there. I was one of them. So I saw him, photograph, taking selfie, signing autograph, the net ballers, discussing time, joking in Punjabi. So he's trying to be in good mood. And I must tell you, I was in New Zealand and I saw when Virat was captain, the access to the media, when we wanted to shoot, when we wanted to go nearby, we were always slightly, always apprehensive, although there were no formal dictate, but you could sense it from the body language, you don't have to go that near that shoot. But this time around, it's different. Virat looks in it very accommodative. He knows that our camera is on, we are taking photos, we are taking videograph. So as much as what I'm trying to say, he is trying to be as normal a player. He is no longer Kohli, the colossal player he is. So I think he also senses that he senses his cricketing mortality, especially in
before I let Nikhil fire one at you, just one question: Do you expect whatever you've seen or spoken to a few people in the team management or the players or the coaches there, or whatever you've sensed so far, is there a possibility that either of the two, Rishabh Pant or Virat Kohli, can any of these two open with Rohit Sharma today?
Wow, that is the talk, because I sense nobody has spoken to me formally, but whatever little I could get, because yesterday we were discussing and we were just saying that who will open with Rohit. So obviously the easiest thing is to drop Ishan Kishan and bring either Rohit Sharma or Rishabh Pant. Virat Kohli or Rishabh Pant. But isn't it that will be a little unfair, because we all know that the problem with Indian T20 team is the presence of these three batsmen, particularly Rohit and Virat, more so in top order. So these two stars, because we saw a different kind of Rohit in Southampton. Uncharacteristically, he was aggressive. And if you look at Rohit's record in power play in the last 1 year or so, it's been around 150. Virat struggled in IPL for RCB. So Virat under pressure, coming at, who knows, maybe people are saying, but I don't think that at this point of time opening Virat, because sending Virat to open in this match means, are you thinking that Virat will open with Rohit in World Cup? If the answer is no, then why? What would you
And also you'll be going back to something that you've already tried, Virat opening the innings with Rohit Sharma. We've already seen that happen in the past, and it didn't work out well, and then they went back with Virat in number 3.
Really, that is what we are saying. So Rohit and Virat as an opening combination, I don't think, because this has been tried. Even forget opening. I'm saying even if he's playing at number 3, that is not ideal for India, and India has seen that. People know what went wrong for India, and this has been happening not only in T20, even in ODI World Cup. If you look at the moment all these three, when Shikhar Dhawan was around, Shikhar, Rohit and Virat. Now Shikhar has been replaced by KL Rahul, but much hasn't changed. The style is similar. They all three of them take time to settle down. No one going from the first ball buzzer. The way England has started, the way baseball talk is dominating cricket. You have to be proactive. That kind of alertness we saw in Southampton. That was a new Indian team under Hardik Pandya. They were raring to go. Deepak Hooda coming straight to success. Surya Kumar Yadav from the first ball, very active, very alert. So these kind of things you need in T25, even if you are losing the wickets. That was the difference. If Indian team, forget other teams, if Indian team can't learn from its own matches experience, I don't know who they should look forward to.
Okay, Vimal, thank you so much for giving us company. We'll let you go. The toss is about to start in some time from now. He was joining us live from Edgbaston. Beautiful scenery behind him, but that is behind the stadium. He's joining us live from the press box, and now the game will be starting. So we'll let you enjoy the game, Vimal. See you at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So a few things that Vimal is pointing out. He spoke about how he's been looking at a lot of Indian players, and for the very first time he's seen that there's a lot of talk about Virat Kohli, and that the fact that Virat is under pressure. He mentioned how he traveled to New Zealand and it was so tough to get anywhere close to Virat. You couldn't have cameras on him all the time. There was this clear divide where kind of, it wasn't a diktat, but you could make out that he wasn't very comfortable with cameras on him. Now he's saying he's pretty relaxed. You can shoot him as much as you want. He's pretty easygoing, chirpy, and quite fun to be around, is what Vimal is telling us, because he is, as you know, there where all the action is. What happens, whether he he's definitely coming in, but what happens, I mean, most likely I wouldn't be surprised if Ishan Kishan is rested and Virat opens today. I have a gut feeling that you will see Virat Kohli opening.
So basically Virat is coming into the 11 only and only because they want him to get into the 11 and just see what happens. That's it.
Because
otherwise Virat opening the innings doesn't make sense to me, because Virat himself had tried this idea of opening with Rohit Sharma in the past. In fact, he started that with the IPL and thereafter, if I'm not wrong, that was 2019, the 2019 IPL, and then Virat tried it in international cricket also, but that didn't work out, and then they went back. Virat went back to to number 3. So this is.
But he opened this time in the IPL.
So this is just for
that too, after like a number of failures in the middle order.
And to be very honest, I think for Virat, maybe that's the best position for Virat to bat at
so
number.
Maybe they've had a conversation with him, and they may see again. You will be sweating over KL Rahul's fitness going forward.
No, but that's why maybe Ishan Kishan, you have to give Ishan Kishan a decent run. Although he's been getting matches.
But he's got a lot of matches. But you have to see Virat also, no?
You haven't seen Virat.
No, as in international T20, as hardly. Wherever you see, he's either not played those series. I'm not counting IPL. International recently.
Was he injured? During those
he was
series?
rested. He was rested.
No, he was rested or he asked for rest.
Whatever, he's asked for rest, was rested.
So, but then
India
if you want to earn your place back, you don't have to take rest.
No.
You have to play.
Yes, but I don't know whether he thinks he has to earn the place back. See, he may not now be going. He's not part of that ODIs for West Indies. He may not be part of the T20Is for. So I'm saying you have to see Virat also, no? And you want to see his form.
Can I ask you a straightforward question? Both of you. Does Virat merit a place in India's T20 11?
Right now, see, on form maybe not, but I cannot drop Virat. I have to be convinced right now that his T20 thing is done. But am I convinced now? No.
And considering how the players are performing around him,
that's why I'm not convinced that he's done. And if you ask my personal opinion, I would play him, and I would even play him in West Indies. I want to see him play all these white ball matches. I want to see him play in the West Indies also. I want to see him play in the Asia Cup also.
At the expense of the players who also need game time.
Yes.
Who also need that kind of confidence going, if they are actually going into the World Cup.
I think they will keep rotating. So I think there will be no player left out who will not get game time. I'm saying India is playing so much cricket, you just announced a Zimbabwe tour
I'm just
also.
saying any player who goes into the World Cup, he would prefer at least 10 to 15 games, at least 10 to 15 games under his belt before he...
Yeah, you will see a lot of them already have played so many games. Na? I'm saying all of them will get 10 games. I think the way they will rotate all of them is, let's take Deepak Hooda for example. He's already played now against
around
Ireland,
14 games if I'm not
or
wrong.
Ishan Kishan played all games against South Africa, played in Ireland, played here. He already played 6, 7 games. He's already played. So I'm saying now if you were to rest him, he'll get 10 games. If you're looking at it, but Virat hasn't, na? So I would want to see him.
But closer to the World Cup, I'm saying closer to the World Cup, you would want your best 11, 12, 13 players.
I think they would
play as a unit.
Yeah, you will figure it out by that time.
See, for me, whatever I say, I still feel that Virat will be there, hopefully, in that T20 World Cup squad, and he should be there not because of any other reason, but because of his experience. At times, a big stage like a World Cup.
Kohli, Jadeja, Bumrah are back in the Indian team.
And we have one more change which we forgot. Which
So basically, Rishabh Pant.
Exactly.
Rishabh Pant is not there.
Yeah, I
and if
Jadeja,
No, he
Bumrah.
might be there. We have one more change. He didn't mention what the fourth was. The Pant could be there.
So firstly,
I think we have
Jadeja
the
is
team.
in for Akshar. And Bumrah is in for Arshdeep. I think
Easy swaps. Yeah.
Safely you can say that.
So the team is...
Kohli comes in.
We have the team. Rishabh Pant is there. So Rohit Sharma is going to open with Virat Kohli.
So Kishan.
So there's no Ishan Kishan.
There we
Told
go.
you. That's
Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Dinesh Karthik, Ravindra Jadeja, Harshal Patel, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Jasprit Bumrah, Yuzi Chahal.
So
Deepak Hooda is out.
missed out.
Dinesh Karthik is he in? No.
Sorry?
DK is there. So you're playing
Deepak
both DK
Hooda
and Pant. There you go.
So all
Deepak
your
Hooda goes
famed cricketers are back. The senior pros are back.
So Virat Rohit opening.
Yeah.
Okay, I told you that is going to have a gut that today he's going to open. Virat Rohit opening. Then at number 3 you will have
be
Surya
Surya,
Kumar. Then you will have
Pant.
Pant. Then you will have Hardik. Then Jadeja or DK.
Jadeja will alternate depending on the
that's
situation.
your team. That is the team.
Yeah.
I said as much. Deepak Hooda goes up.
We were talking about, we were having a debate over whether it would be Ishan Kishan who misses out or Deepak Hooda who misses out.
No, but
And
that
that's
was
who-
for Virat.
Yeah, but we also thought because, but they...
No, if I remember correctly,
No, but
we
that's
did.
Pant is coming.
but Pant is coming also, and so that means both of them ended up missing out.
Correct. So see, if you were just bringing in Virat, then you were right. It would either be Deepak Hooda or Ishan Kishan. So
but
one has gone out. But you've also got Pant, so the other one goes.
So the other one goes, and now Pant plays at number 4.
But see, I'll tell you what, I don't have too much of a problem with this. I don't know about you guys. I don't have too much because I think they will keep giving chances to a lot of these players. And again, as I say, your Rishabh Pant is not going to go to the West Indies. Your Virat Kohli is not going to go to the West
So you'd
Indies.
have to play them here.
So then your Ishan Kishan and Deepak Hooda will play there.
Yeah.
What would really be interesting now is that if India doesn't win this match,
Then there's a lot of questions over the team changes made.
Yeah.
Because Deepak Hooda played very well last time around, and we expected.
What last time? Or last 3 games?
Yeah, in fact, last game I'm talking about just
Yeah,
last
yeah.
game in England. You'd be going with, of course, Ireland also he did really well.
Yep.
So you'd say you could have just dropped one, you could have kept Pant out because his white ball form hasn't been great. And again, we were talking about playing a number of games. I would have loved to see Virat playing in the ODIs against West Indies. I think it would have made more sense playing ODI cricket if you
would
want to
have
get your
loved-
form back.
You would have loved, but he's not playing. No?
And
He's not
Just
playing.
creates a lot of
and he
headaches.
would have got 6 ODIs to
No,
play.
fair point, but he's not playing. Team has been announced. So that's what I'm saying, that when you ask me does he make the team, he definitely makes the team. When will I see Virat Kohli and his form? He will have to play all 5 games now.
Yeah.
He will have to play. Deepak Huda, I know what he's given me right now, and we discussed. He's the man in form. He's good, and he will be playing all games in West Indies. So I'm going to see a lot of Deepak Huda going forward. I may not see a lot of Virat Kohli. I may not see a lot of Rishabh Pant also. He also needs it. May not go to the West Indies completely. So I have no problems in this.
Maybe Rishabh Pant also needs game time, at least in white ball form.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why I'm saying that that's why these guys should be played. I have no problem in Ishan Kishan sitting out. No issues in Deepak Huda sitting out. I don't have problem. I know a lot of people will now say that why Deepak Huda has been, and there'll be a lot of outrage him going out. In fact, I was actually advocating Deepak Huda when he was left out initially, that he should play. But right now it's fine because I want to see how Virat Kohli plays. I want to see. I don't know about you guys. You guys feel it's unfair, outrageous that
No, not at all, not at all. Somebody like Virat Kohli should be there because of his experience, because of his big match experience. Although his form is not on his side, but he's still, you'll have to take a huge call, and you have to have valid reasons to drop somebody like Virat Kohli, who's had, who has the experience of playing so many good games, big games, but. If Virat, I think even with Rohit Sharma, I think Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, if Virat has to be in that 11, I think opening is perhaps the best position for Virat Kohli in that 11. We've seen in the IPL also, at times his strike rate has been under scrutiny. A lot of people have criticized. In fact, we have also criticized in the past whenever Virat hasn't played with that kind of strike rate in IPL or any other format. But still, if he has the confidence, if he has the confidence and will to do well, of course, which he must. I'm sure he has. So I think opening the innings with Rohit Sharma is maybe a very good decision for him.
But yes, for him to get back into form. I don't know long term they will be saying
I don't know.
See, if you had KL Rahul fit, there was no way that you were going to try.
Exactly.
This wouldn't have happened. Even now, I don't think that the Indian team has made him open because they're looking at him as an opener. I don't think so. They have only because the slot has opened up, and it's good for Virat Kohli also to be batting there. See, again, you just want Virat to get those big knocks wherever he bats. Once he is in good form, he gets you runs as an opener, he can still come at number 3. That may be the thing going forward. Right now, he's only got that opportunity because the team combination is helping him play there. So he's come out to open. May not. If he let's say he has an outstanding T20 series now, or the white ball series, wherever he's batting as an opener, and then KL also comes back, you're also going to give him a chance. Then it is possible that Rohit and KL open, then Virat goes to number 3. Everyone else has to sit out. I'm sorry, but that's the reality.
And for me, runs, when we talk about Virat Kohli and when we talk about Virat's runs, we usually in T20 we would say a 50 plus score in tests or in ODIs. We would not settle for anything less than 100. But knocks like the ones that Deepak Huda played, a 38 of 17 deliveries, 20 odd deliveries. For me, even that would be great. Even that.
Absolutely.
I am not here. I don't.
170 plus strike rate, and you get 30 plus runs.
That's enough.
Good.
Yes.
Very good.
Because in the IPL also, he played a few innings where he got 33 of 29 deliveries. There were a few innings where he got, I think, 57 or 60 odd runs of some
50 odd balls.
Yes. So
not good enough.
That doesn't serve the purpose. If Virat can score 38 of 21 deliveries, I think that should be good enough for Virat Kohli and his confidence.
Agreed. Can we take a few questions now?
By the way, England have won the toss and they've elected to bowl first. And what we are expecting is most likely Virat Kohli will open with Rohit Sharma, Suryakumar Yadav at number 3. Then Rishabh Pant is also back. Hardik Pandya, Dinesh Karthik, Ravindra Jadeja, Harshal Patel, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Jasprit Bumrah, and Yuzi Chahal. And for England, David Willey comes back finally. And their batting looks pretty, they haven't made any change. So basically,
They made
two changes.
Richard Gleeson comes in.
Richard
David Hunt.
Gleeson comes in and David Willey. So these are the only two changes. Now, can we get back to the comments?
Questions, Lelo. Okay, Indian wants to know, you want to see how Pant plays, but we have seen how he played in 50 T20Is. So justice for Deepak Hooda.
There's justice for Deepak and justice for Ishan.
But
which I've
I don't
already
think
seen.
Deepak Hooda is fighting with Pant, by the way. So that's a unfair comparison. I think what they're looking at, because nobody is convinced that DK is going to be their part of the team or the T20 team. You're looking at him for sure, but you're also looking at a wicket keeper, right? DK's wicket keeping left a lot to be desired last time around. That's not to say that he will be a first choice keeper. You could still play two keeper and DK could still play and Pant could still be out if you've got other options like Ishan Kishan and whatever. But I doubt there will be a scenario where Ishan Kishan will be playing and
Wicket keeping too.
DK will be playing. So you would have to look at a wicket keeper batsman. And I think it's a straight fight between Rishabh Pant and Dinesh
DK.
Karthik. Their batting is going to decide, and it's good that both of them are playing. So it's a straight fight out. You could just figure out in the next few matches who is in better form, and I think that would be decided. As for justice for Deepak Hooda, I'd love to know your thought. I'm not surprised if you saw our show yesterday. We predicted that Deepak Hooda will
We said
go
it
out,
would be harsh
and
but correct. That's
Virat
the only
Kohli
call.
is going to come in primarily because of the fact that Virat will not be playing too many white ball matches. He's not part of that West Indies. You can debate about that, whether he should be going there, whether one day is good or not for him. All the debates are fine, but he is not going there. That's the reality. And if he's not going there, I want to see him and how his form is. And so this is the only time I have to see him. Deepak Hooda, I have seen he's in fine form, and he's, the guy who I'm looking as a backup, and he'll play a lot in the West Indies, and if he continues to do well,
and something
I'll take
drastic has to happen for Deepak Hooda if he doesn't make it to that T20 World Cup squad.
Yeah, he'd have to have a real drop off in form.
yeah. Aditya Suryavanshi says big knock is around the corner. In fact, if there is no pressure, Virat Kohli will be in the perfect zone. That's what he's saying.
Will
big,
not be in the perfect zone. So
so he's saying big pressure. That means he's in the perfect zone because
Which
there is
means that he
pressure,
will,
which
yeah.
means a big knock is around the
Yeah.
corner, which is quite
Let's hope
possible.
so.
Aditya Suryavanshi.
But there will be pressure. In fact, there will be a lot of pressure for somebody like Virat Kohli if he has to change. If just to accommodate a player like Virat Kohli, his slot, his position in the batting order has been changed
now,
which
yeah.
means that he has been accommodated, at least for me. Even though I know
No. We're assuming that. I'm saying, so there could be a scenario that he comes in and let's say if there was a KL Rahul here, okay?
then
Then Deepak
Virat.
Hooda would have gone out and Virat
Right.
plays.
Right.
At number 3, simple. Finish. It would have happened. How have you accommodated?
Surya at number 4,
Surya.
Rishabh at number 5,
Rishabh wouldn't have made the team. na?
DK, okay.
We actually yesterday we discussed that
Rishabh wouldn't have made the team. Then you go in with DK.
Then you
Fine.
And then you keep rotating between Deepak and Rishabh in matches. So supposing if DK is not part of that, by the way, ODI squad, because you're looking. But if Rishabh is resting for West Indies, and DK is going to be playing those 5 matches against West Indies, then I would have rested DK now and brought Rishabh there for Dinesh Karthik. And Virat at 3, KL and Rohit would have opened, and that also answers. There was a question about KL Rahul. How would you fit him in? So I'm just trying to answer. Assuming KL Rahul would have been here and you're going to be judging him, I would have opened with Rohit and KL, and Virat would have batted at 3.
simple. Yeah.
Now we are all expecting Virat to open the innings. What if Rishabh
comes
Pant
Yeah.
comes out to open with Rohit?
No, but I told you I had a gut today. Virat is going to open.
Yeah, in fact we discussed this day before yesterday also
Yes.
after the post.
Yes, that was an option. Yeah.
Post match that Virat surely will come back into the 11,
Yeah.
but at the expense of whom? Because Ishan Kishan and unfortunately Deepak Hooda look to be the only 2 option.
Yeah.
And
Because-
both have gone out.
Yeah, and both have gone
That's
out.
right.
Let's take a few questions, please, Shivam. Sarat Chandra Yalamarthi is saying, why should Deepak lose his confidence? He just has to perform when given. But such is life, Sarat Chandra. I mean, Deepak Hooda, even public memory is very short. And I'll just refresh your memory. When India were playing South Africa, and I was saying, no, Deepak Hooda should have played ahead of Dinesh Karthik. A lot of people are pointing out that why are you advocating for Deepak Hooda? because he's had a good IPL. Why do you want him? Now he's played these 2 against Ireland, and now he suddenly is a player that you want. But the reality is, see, he's the guy in the waiting. He's behind in that pecking order, behind Virat Kohli. If Virat Kohli is firing, assume, let's say he has a good T20 series, and Deepak Hooda is firing, who would you play first in your team? Virat Kohli, right?
No question.
So when he is now available to play, will he not come back? I know it's harsh for Deepak Hooda to go, but that's how it is. It's like Jasprit Bumrah is fit and he will come back. Arshdeep had a great outing, but he'll have to make space for Jasprit Bumrah. That's how it is. Unless you have decided, after giving enough chances to Virat, and you've decided that it's time to look beyond Virat Kohli, the day you decide that, then of course Deepak Hooda walks in. There's no debate. Then you have decided, and maybe, as we have reported, and we got a lot of abuse for that, it's not our opinion. Again, as I repeat, we're giving you news that this is on the lines that people in the BCCI are thinking that Virat Kohli is under trial. You may like it or not. So, you're a good friend.
Chandresh, Shane.
So he says, I'll go right ahead. So he says that Indians are confused about formats, hence the talk about averages in T20s. Root is in form, but out of the T20I squad of England because they understand formats better than we do.
Good point, Chandresh. That's what I'm saying. So again, and I'm just going to take on that, because after the show we did yesterday, so I was just telling you, suddenly I see a lot of people on social media putting his record and saying egg on your face, or you are a agent, or you are this, because look at Virat's T20I record and this and that. A lot of them have just put averages. A lot of, I saw his average is this in Australia. A lot of average in T20s don't matter. Yes, average will matter if you take it in context with the strike rate. If you saw our show yesterday, that is the reason we combined IPL and internationals, and we showed you average and strike rate.
Exactly.
Where we pointed out that, okay, if you are averaging 30, if someone is averaging 30, I'm averaging 40. Yes, 40 is better than 30. But if he is averaging 30 at a strike rate of 170 and I'm averaging 40 at a strike rate of 120, then he's a far more essential and important player than I am.
Correct.
And that's what we were trying to point out. Yes, if the average is very close, and there's a big difference in strike rate, then you look at it that way. Or the strike rates are very close and then there's a difference in average, we'll take a look at it. So I'm not saying completely ignore averages. Of course, averages tell you that how many runs that guy contributes, but take it with this strike rate. And the other thing we mentioned, by the way, that when we compared IPL and T20Is together, because if you pick any one thing, then you are cherry picking, because someone will show up good in something and someone will show, and the fact is that India have hardly been playing T20Is, and especially big guys like Rohit and Virat have hardly been playing. So you had to combine IPL, which is what we did, and in which it showed that both Rohit and Virat are in the same boat, roughly the same kind of performance, which we have accepted that both need to pull up their socks. Nobody is saying that no, Rohit is amazing or Virat is not, and vice versa. But what we pointed out is that maybe you can only carry one such player in the team. The problem is that
it has to be the captain.
Correct.
Exactly.
Had Virat been the captain, the whole
Then
debate
Rohit
would have changed.
the owners would have
which is what we pointed out
Virat
yesterday.
was the captain, but there was a school of thought in the board, in the selection committee, that didn't want Virat to captain.
Yes, no, I agree.
Because
But
they
I'm
wanted.
saying, under whatever circumstances that has happened, the reality today that he is not captain and Rohit is, right?
That's a fact.
So when you are only going to carry one such player, and then it is most
And
likely
KL
the captain.
Rahul will be there.
No, but KL's numbers are outstanding. Even strike rate, by the way.
Strike rate of
Even
136
strike rate, he
and
was
average of
way
like
ahead.
40 toward.
So now,
that's pretty good.
and we mixed. That's why we mixed. People will say, oh, he hardly plays T20Is. So if you're going to show only his T20Is, they will look good. But what about that? But we combined all IPL, because if you say IPL is international level, best bowlers you are facing, and you were saying that he plays slow in the IPL, so all the more reason it would have brought his stats down, but it didn't. Between the three of them, he stands head and shoulder above the two. So,
Right.
so you can't argue with numbers. Rahul Java. Considering the World Cup is in Australia, we can back Virat to open if Rahul isn't fit. Ishan though has scored but looks mediocre. Also not sure why Hooda can play ahead of Jadeja. Jadeja bowling has declined rapidly.
That's it.
So let's answer the Jadeja thing better. Again, I don't think you can compare Jadeja with Hooda. Hooda, if the Indian team was looking as a spin bowling all-rounder, they would have given him a few overs here and there.
But
in
they
the 3
haven't.
matches that he's played, he's not even bowled 1 over. So I don't think they're looking at him like that. So
Correct.
Jadeja, Huda cannot be compared. So that's the end of that. Now let's turn our, and by the way, yes, Jadeja did not look that bowler that he was in India. In Australia, ball bounces a bit, he could be a different bowler.
But see, as far as Jadeja is concerned, in T20s, Jadeja is not somebody you expect him to bowl 4 overs in T20 internationals. That's what, even in IPL.
He can bowl certain days.
He can,
Yeah.
on some good days, he can bowl 4
On other
overs.
days he
But
won't.
even in IPL also, you don't expect, or the, the captain of his team doesn't expect him to bowl all 4 overs. They always have a backup for Jadeja. And Huda with Huda compared, you're comparing Huda with Jadeja. I don't think if Huda makes it to the Indian 11, he will play there in place of Jadeja.
Not a chance.
Jadeja is, if somebody has to get into that 11, maybe a Washington Sundar, in case
He's miraculously fit.
If he's
Washington
fit,
Sundar gets fit
And
and
in
then
form.
doesn't get unfit again. So, he can make it to the 11 at the expense of Jadeja.
Yeah,
But for that to
not
happen,
Huda.
even Washington Sundar will also have to do very well, because again, Jadeja's experience. That's why I'm saying Virat Kohli, his experience makes him, gives him these kind of opportunities, that some player who's doing well will have to make way for a Virat Kohli.
Exactly.
Just to answer the second part of his question, please, Shivam, if you can show
Rahul
us
Java.
Rahul Java's second part was, considering World Cup in Australia, we can back Virat to open if Rahul isn't fit. I'm sure you can. If Rahul is not available, you can look at Virat as an opener.
But you'll still need a backup opener.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also,
Still you will need a Nishan Kishan.
and the rider is, Virat also has to strike form. And maybe he does, as I said, maybe in England he does.
So that's why, when we are talking about form, initially also we spoke about this, that we are not expecting, I don't think Virat scores 50 odd runs today and we'll say that he's back in form. No. In IPL also, I remember
got a
when he
couple of
got his
centuries.
50, everybody said King is back, King is back, King is back. What happened to that match?
Yeah.
The score, I think RCB should have scored somewhere close to 200, but they didn't,
Because he batted slow.
because Virat batted slow. That's a fact. In the last match that India played, India scored 200, close to 200, 198 runs they scored. The way Surya Kumar Yadav batted, the way Deepak Huda batted, both of them got in 30s, scored in 30s.
But look at the strike
at
rate.
a strike rate of, I think one of them got was scoring at 170-80, and the other one was scoring at close to 200. So even if Virat I think for me, it's all about confidence. For Virat to get that confidence, he has to middle the ball. He has to score those runs with the same kind of confidence that he used to show earlier.
Chandresh says batting order is overrated in T20s. This obsession with Virat at 3 because he didn't bat in the last 3 games of World Cup, for example, it's all about the situation. Yeah.
Horses for courses, whatever the situation is, you need to.
And I think the Indian team does do that, at least in the lower order. They keep switching, where Dinesh Karthik, they have decided will only bat in the last
We'll only bat for 2
3
overs.
whatever.
We'll only bat
They
for
will
2
send
Which
up
also
Akshar
is
Patel.
wrong.
Yeah.
Which is also wrong. But yeah, I agree. You have to look at a situation and you have to be flexible. If you need to send somebody, if you had a great start and then you don't need an accumulator at number 3, you need to send a big hitter, then send Hardik someday at 3. You can. I mean, and you did that. By the way, IPL teams do that all the time.
Yeah.
But as of now,
Deepak Huda batted all position.
To be fair,
he has,
Lucknow.
even not just for the IPL, in the IPL, even against
India.
Ireland, he opened.
Yeah.
Then he batted at number 3.
And when he started playing for India, he was at like 5.
Yes.
So then
No, this IPL only batted
Everywhere.
5, 6,
4, 5,
whatever.
6,
Yeah.
3.
He has proven himself.
Yeah, he has.
Deepak Huda.
He has. Okay, Rahul Vasudev says, why Pant? Strike rate is 126, not notable, winning innings till date, overhyped white ball player, Huda deserves a place, excited to see full strength side of World Cup. No, your point about Pant is valid, which is why he is also under the radar. Na? You're looking at him, you're seeing what he has to do, and let's see. Now you tell him that, see, this is the way we want you to bat, and this is the kind of cricket we are looking to play, as you saw in the first T20. And Rohit Sharma is saying that we have to play like this, attacking cricket right from the start. So let's see how Rishabh Pant adapts to that. I think just as you're giving some time to Virat Kohli to see how he is adapting, I think you should give time to Rishabh also. You'll find out sooner or later. Take Rahul Java says, mark my words, selecting Jadeja will be a blunder. Play with Hardik and Huda as fifth bowler. Rest is okay. Jadeja isn't a match winner with bat or ball. Anybody?
But you will need a spinner. You need a frontline spinner. Unfortunately,
two spinners. You
Rahul, Yuzi, of course, will be there and
will most likely bowl out his 4 overs. But
and if Huda does make it to the 11, where will you bat him? Okay, you will have your 2 openers or top 3. You will have your top 3. You will have your top 3. Number 4 would be Suryakumar Yadav. 5 would be, you'll have to see whether Hardik and Rishabh Pant and Dinesh Karthik, you'll have to see.
Let's assume one of them as 6.
Okay, one of them. Then at 7. Then Huda at 7 is useless. To be very honest, for me. That's
he's not someone who's going to be coming in 2 overs.
He is too talented to bat so low in the batting.
And also you're just making it batting heavy by compromising on your bowling, and the balance just doesn't work. At least that's how I see it.
And Jadeja is a multi-dimensional player. It's not just his batting, it's not just his bowling, it's not just his fielding. All 3 combine to make
Jadeja the player he is.
Ravindra Jadeja.
Nitish Sharma, thank you so much for your kind comments. And you don't have to apologize for people who are abusing. It's okay. Most of 70-80% are good people.
And also,
all of them send us love. Only few people who do it, but even that's fine.
And also the business that we are in, we are
used
prepared
to thick skin.
It's not just thick skin. We know the pros and cons.
And here, at least, the abuse is also pretty mild. Rahul has experienced worse times.
No, I have.
So it's okay. We love interacting with you guys.
Nayak from
exactly
United States of America.
Rohan Nayak, because we're on the subject of Jadeja, he points out, don't forget Jadeja as a fielder. That's true. 3-dimensional.
Yes, and
it's
at
a real
times,
3D player.
And at times when things aren't going your way.
And can I add one more thing? Jadeja, the batsman, by the way, if you saw him, he batted number 4. Before the IPL, Rohit Sharma was batting him at number 4. We've forgotten against West Indies, Sri Lanka, and he was outstanding. A public memory is short, so Jadeja, the batsman, also.
And at times when things aren't going
just come
your
out
way,
of it, Shivam, please. There's one more.
Somebody like Jadeja can effect a run out and it can actually change
a game. Exactly.
Arsalan Khan from the UK tells us India is winning easily against this England side. Valid point, though I think it won't be a cakewalk. Today England are chasing, and today it's a day game. You won't get that kind of swing, and if it comes to a man-to-man, just a out-and-out hitting contest on a flat pitch,
England are much better.
Yeah.
Also, the one thing which concerns me about this Indian team, a lot of chopping and changing. I understand the need for it because obviously you want to be playing those, but you've taken a winning side, the rhythm is disrupted, you've made 4 changes. It's a lot, and England are a little more settled in that regard. So
I just fail to understand why did they drop David Willey in the first place, in the first match.
Exactly.
So Rohit Sharma taking strike
and VK
against the left armour.
Oh, good lord. Yes.
Is it Rishabh Pant? Rishabh Pant is opening with...
There you go. There you go.
Finally.
It's happened.
It's happened at last.
Though he did open that one-off game, I think. It's happened.
I know he's opened at under 19 level. In fact, his opening partner at that point was Ishan Kishan.
He opened in one of these games. I think it was one of the forced changes.
I think basically they want a left-right combo, maybe.
What kind of a shot was that?
What was that? Seriously?
So interesting, By the way, Rishabh Pant is opening. And Sunny Gavaskar said it on Sports Today. Open with Rishabh Pant. It's not a bad option. That's what they've done. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm very happy to see that. Pant, the opener, is what I wanted to see in T20 cricket. And I want him to fire there because I think that will be a game-changing move. So Score prediction. Go.
I think India will score 170, but I see England winning. So
170.
yeah, and I see England
No,
winning.
that we'll discuss who's winning in the mid innings. Yes, score prediction.
172,
170, 172.
same as last time.
I'm going 190. No, I'm going 195. 195 for India. See you then, mid innings. Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
Bye.